Now, generally speaking, at least, I'm a huge fan of dividend-focused ETFs that have an emphasis of consistent dividend income plus some capital appreciation, but on top of that are potentially even tax efficient as sort of a bonus. And for the most part, if a dividend-oriented ETF offers all those things all together, they are at least on my radar and possibly something that I'd personally add to my long-term portfolio. Now, if you also are interested in those sort of ETFs, this video is going to be perfect for you because I just as of recently came across a brand new to me ETF. This ETF has been trading for a while, but brand new to me. ETF that offers all those things I just talked about, but also offers a potential hedge against all the crazy volatility that we've seen in 2025 with all the tariffs and everything else in the USA. Now, like I said, this ETF offers income, it offers some capital appreciation, it's relatively tax efficient, and offers even more than that. So if you want to look into this ETF with me and explore what it has to offer, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. My A to Z dividend investing ebook has helped countless dividend investors get started with their journey. And my custom dividend tracker that I'm constantly using here on the channel has also helped so many investors stay on track and allow them to see their dividend income in real time. Well, today I have another treat for you guys. I'm not only going to offer you my A to Z dividend investing ebook and the custom dividend tracker, but also just for a short limited time, I'm going to be adding in my brand new weekly dividend blueprint ebook to show you how you can get started with weekly dividend ETFs and add this into your investing strategy. This offer is not going to last long, so go ahead and click the first link down below in my description, and you're going to get both ebooks and the custom dividend tracker bundle. But like I said, please act fast because this won't be around for long. Now let's get back into the video. Now the ETF that I'm talking about is brought to us by Amplify ETFs, the same provider as Devo and QDBO, two of my favorites in my long-term portfolio. The ETF is actually IDBO, or the Amplify CWP International Enhanced Dividend Income ETF, which like I said is new to me at least, even though it's been trading since 2022. Now this ETF probably never really came across my radar in the past just because international based ETFs for the most part just never really caught my eye because I've been pretty content with buying into things that cover the USA. But especially with all the volatility that we've seen in 2025 as of recently, international exposure is definitely something I've been considering and probably something a lot of you guys are at least considering. So I figured I'd make a video and share with you guys what IDBO has to offer. Now to go over some of the basics of the fund, it has been trading since September of 2022, so we do have a decent amount of data probably to look back on and see how it's done so far. There's almost $250 million inside the fund, so it's relatively big. There's 76 holdings inside the fund as of right now, and the expense ratio is fairly expensive at 0.66%. Now it says 3 reasons to consider IDBO. It says 2 potential income streams. IDBO seeks to provide income from international dividend paying stocks and by opportunistically writing cover calls on those stocks. So again, 2 things that are just generally up my alley. I love dividend oriented stocks and ETFs, especially when they write cover calls, because this generally helps with downside protection, but also offers the potential for more income. Number 2, it says seeks to lower volatility, dividend and option income, reduce share price volatility versus the overall market during times of broad-based market declines. Now lastly, professionally managed acts as a professional managed dividend and option income international investment strategy through the efficiency of an ETF. Now, especially when it comes to international exposure, because I really don't know all that many international stocks. I mean, if you look at the top holdings for IDBO, there's a few names in here that are familiar, but for the most part, I don't really know too many of these names. That's why for me personally, if I do want to have international exposure, I'm probably going to want to go with one of the providers that I at least have trusted in the past and an ETF that offers a strategy that I can get behind. Now, and then says why international. Historically, foreign companies can provide diversification if added to a US only portfolio. In many cases, these companies offer the potential for faster growth than typical domestic companies. Additionally, writing cover calls on these foreign stocks have historically provided higher premiums. Now looking into the ETF's objective, seeing what this ETF is actually trying to achieve. It says IDBO is an ETF of high quality international large and mid-cap companies through American Depository Receipts or ADRs with a history of dividend and earnings growth, which is good, along with a tactical cover call strategy on individual names, just like lots of the other amplified ETFs have done. Now we're going to look a little bit deeper into the dividends historically and everything else with IDBO, but the distribution rate is around 6%, which is not bad whatsoever, especially because I already peeked into the chart and this ETF has grown over time. Now, as far as the top 10 holdings, names like SAP SE, Barclays PLC, Simons, Relic, I mean, again, a lot of different names I don't know all that much about, although of course I have seen some of these names in the past. Now, this is also sort of interesting to look at, especially for an international ETF. Again, if you're an investor like myself that you don't really have all that much international exposure, but maybe, just maybe you want to add some, this is kind of cool. It actually shows all the different countries around the world and it shows you the allocation amounts in every single country. So for example, it shows that there's going to be a portion of the fund made up of stocks from Switzerland, Japan, Germany, Colombia, etc., etc. Now, before we look at the actual price return and the overall total return for IDVO, I did of course want to add this in because a lot of you guys are very concerned with how these dividends are going to be taxed. And for the most part, over the last 3 months, it looks like a portion of all the payouts have been a mix of return of capital and other forms of taxation. Like for example, a few months back, it looks like 81% of such dividend was paid out in the form of return of capital. But then as of March and even April, it's been less and less. Now, this could be something that's very important to you, especially if you are looking for more tax-efficient ETFs. And a side note, when it comes to any ETF or stock for that matter, definitely look into how it's going to be taxed as far as dividends go, because again, that might be very important to what you're looking for. Now, I did mention that this ETF has grown on the max time frame. I mean, it's only been trading since 2022, but on that time frame, it's up over 25%. And year to date, the ETF is up over 8% just as far as price return goes, which is especially impressive just because in the USA, I mean, it might be a struggle to find an ETF that's up this much year to date just because of all the volatility we've had. Now, as far as the dividends go, again, we know that the dividend yield is around 5 or 6% more or less. But what's even better than that is that IDVO pays out dividends on a monthly basis, and they're not only very, very stable and steady for the most part, but it looks like they've been going up slightly over time, which is awesome. Now, there's really only one last thing to do, and that's to look at the total return for IDVO on the max time frame. And honestly, guys, it looks really, really good. On the max time frame, which is again since September of 2022, IDVO is up over 50%. This is price return plus dividends included, which is not bad whatsoever. And honestly, from what I've seen, one of the better total returns over this time frame when it comes to international exposure. So IDVO historically has offered high quality exposure to some of the top names internationally. The ETF has grown pretty steadily over time and been paying dividends every single month and slowly increasing them, all while paying out dividends relatively tax efficiently. All to say that IDVO, as far as adding some international exposure goes, this is probably one of the top ETFs I've actually looked into that I would consider adding to my portfolio for the international exposure, especially during times like in 2025 where it'd be almost better than ever to have it. So now that we talked about IDVO, the Amplify CWP, and International Enhanced Dividend Income ETF, I share with you guys what this ETF is, how it works, and even the fact that I personally might add some of this one to my portfolio. And lastly, most importantly, I want to hear from you guys down below. Would you personally consider adding any IDVO to your portfolio? And if not, what other international ETF should I look into next? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.